Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening everyone, thanks for joining us this Monday evening. First, unions say staff previously warned Tasal about a forklift believed to be responsible for a suspected carbon monoxide leak. An investigation has been launched into the cause of the incident, which sent 20 workers to hospital.
20 people were taken to hospital late yesterday over a suspected carbon monoxide leak. Today, unions alleged salmon giant Tasal had previously been warned a forklift had made workers sick.
I understand that over a number of years, for very short periods of time, the gas-powered forklift has been used in confined spaces, making people sick.
Those affected yesterday were all in a stable condition. 4 remaining workers are expected to be discharged from hospital today.
There's a clear systems failure here and it's not good enough, and that's why we'll be looking for changes to be made to make sure it doesn't occur again.
Clearly, this has been a very distressing incident for those that are involved. WorkSafe inspectors were on site yesterday. I'm not going to preempt any outcome of that investigation.
WorkSafe inspectors have issued notices to the company while it continues the investigation. Tasal didn't front the media today, but says it has no record of previous reports over the cause of the incident. The facility near Dover has reopened. Royal Hobart Hospital staff have been praised for handling a large number of patients with serious symptoms.
I mean, it shows that when the hospital's not under great stress, as it often is, how it really has the systems and the personnel in place to handle a situation really well.
11 people were hospitalised with carbon monoxide poisoning at a Hobart home last year. There are calls to make carbon monoxide monitors mandatory at all properties.
I think that the government needs to look at that, but I'd also be supportive of them broadening that to look at making them mandatory in work sites as well.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
Tributes are pouring in for a 17-year-old boy who has died following a trail bike crash in Launceston 4 days ago. The victim, along with a 16-year-old boy, were taken to hospital in a critical condition after the bike collided with a ute on Thompson's Lane in Unum last Thursday. Sadly, authorities today confirmed the 17-year-old rider had died, while the other teenager remains stable at the Launceston General Hospital. Fruit Growers Tasmania is looking to stop any potential changes to the industry's controversial pay model of piece rates. The organisation says it encourages productivity, claiming workers have the potential to earn more under the current system.
During peak season, around 300 workers will fill these rows at Burlington Berries. Like most in Australia, they'll be paid for their pieces of fruit they pick, not their time, known as a piece rate.
They want to earn as much money and save as much money as possible, and that's where piecework is beneficial for the business and beneficial for them as well.
The business says the average hourly wage here is around $29. Experienced pickers earn more, new pickers earn less. But nationally, that method could be about to change. The Australian Workers' Union calling to replace that model with a minimum wage for hours worked.
The Horticulture Award is currently set up in a way that makes it far too easy for employers to set impossibly low piece rates.
But Fruit Growers Tasmania has now pushed back against the proposed change.
People who would normally be happy to work at a piece worker rate below that minimum floor will be excluded from being able to be part of the industry and part of the harvest.
Saying no farm here has been found to violate the piece rate agreement, despite outside Tasmania, some pickers being paid as little as $3 per hour.
This exploitation is so rife and there's many vulnerable workers in this industry, often people who have English as a second language.
With many international pickers locked out of Australia this year, it's been a battle for some farms to find enough workers. A guaranteed minimum wage could be a way to attract more locals, but the industry says that wouldn't work.
It's not a 12-month job, it's not a career, and investing skills and experience in a 3-month job that they can come back to in a year's time doesn't make sense.
He says the model drove away more experienced workers when implemented in the UK, concerned it would happen here.
What happens is the business will respond to that by reducing the range of earnings.
Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Thousands of Year 12 students have been offered a lifeline into university in a move to combat disruption of COVID-19. Most will have secured early admission well before the stressful final exams, but it won't be an automatic ticket in.
Year 12 is by design a hellish end to 13 years of schooling, though for Lauren Spencer it was last year's crash course in the pandemic that proved the most stressful.
Working at home, particularly mostly through Zoom, was very challenging.
But to her relief, she was one of 2,300 students offered early entry into the University of Tasmania months before the final exams.
Even though they were still stressful, you had that reassurance in the back of your mind that you had secured that spot.
That program rebooted for a second straight year, allowing senior pupils to apply for their dream course based purely on their Year 11 scores and the recommendations of their teachers.
Teachers know best whether a student can undertake a particular course at university.
A move UTAS says is less about propping up its student-starved university under closed borders.
It's no secret that international students certainly pay for a lot of the additional work that the university does.
More about increasing the opportunities for school leavers facing the swirling uncertainty of COVID.
Diversify and increase domestic enrolments.
The certainty that you have a qualification or a pathway to go into does ease the mind.
Though the government insists this is not a free pass, successful applicants will still need to meet the minimum exam standards, while elite courses like nursing, medical radiation and medicine will almost certainly require a high ATAR.
Highly sought after courses.
The university plans to extend the program over the coming years, a comfort for those teenagers already plotting their tertiary future.
Obviously still trying your best, but you know, if something does go wrong, you have that reassurance.
Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
State Labor says it will refer the government to the Integrity Commission over the use of leaflets during the state election. The opposition alleges the government spent $150,000 of taxpayer funds to pay for Liberal Party flyers.
They've been too tricky by half. They've argued that because the brochures didn't use the words vote one, that it somehow is okay to use taxpayers' money when otherwise it wouldn't be the case.
Tasmania Police found the brochures did not breach election guidelines. The government has also denied any wrongdoing. Police are cracking down on Tasmania's rising illicit drug trade, the key focus for this year's Crime Stoppers Week. Locals are being urged to speak out, stay secret in the organisation's latest campaign. Investigators say there has been a significant number of drug seizures in the state over the past 12 months, and the public has played a huge part.
Some of those seizures actually have come as a direct result of Crime Stoppers information, so we just encourage people to continue providing that information.
Ice in particular, in some jurisdictions, other areas it's marijuana or other different types of drugs. But we really want to target where the drugs are coming into Tasmania.
Suspicious behaviour can be reported anonymously on the Crime Stoppers Tasmania website or by calling 1800 333 000. A brand new Tasmanian invention could change the way cafes recycle and reduce waste. The Launceston creator of an alternative milk delivery system pushing to save local businesses from using thousands of plastic bottles every year.
Frothing fresh Tasmanian milk poured straight from the tap. For this Launceston cafe owner, offering sustainable coffees has been a year-long mission.
Just staggered that there was no more efficient way of milk delivery. We were using about 700 or 800 litres of milk a week, and that was all coming in 2-litre bottles.
Edward then creating the other way, an 18-litre refillable milk keg to replace disposable bottles in an Australian first.
Completely reusable, so each keg will get rid of about 5,000 milk bottles a year.
Tasmanian dairy company Ashgrove filling, delivering, then picking up and cleaning the kegs every day.
Ed came to us about 6 months ago with the other way, and we thought, what a great initiative. It's a great way to not only recycle bottles, but not to need them in the first place.
Zimmer Coffee in Hobart, trialling the kegs for the past 3 months, with green alternatives to plastic at the heart of the cafe.
We deliver our coffee in buckets rather than in plastic 1 kilo bags. We use between 2 and 3 crates of milk a day, so being able to limit that amount of plastic use is massive.
one of 6 cafes across the state currently using the locally made invention, with hopes for more businesses in Tasmania and eventually Australia to ditch the crates.
It's only in a few cafes currently, but we would like to, our mission is to remove 100 million milk bottles from Australia every year.
Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
If juggling 3 young children isn't enough, a Northwest mother is taking on an extra gruelling challenge for a good cause. She plans to run from Penguin to Launceston, making strides for Tasmanian veterans battling the demons of active service.
Renee Ritson has never run a marathon, but she wants to go one step further. Well, lots of steps further.
I am going to feel like a child in the back seat of a car going, are we there yet? Are we there yet?
The goal is to run from Penguin to Launceston. The point is to raise $15,000 for veteran support service Mates for Mates.
I just want to do as much as I can to help them. They help a lot of other people.
Finding time to train has been tough with 3 children aged 5 and under, but they're part of the all-important support crew.
They're like, Mummy, you got to run fast. It's like, I don't think I'll be running fast. It'll be just more like a jog.
Renee's run will take 3 gruelling days. For me though, 3 minutes has been enough. If you'd like to donate to the cause, head to supportmatesformates.org and search for Renee Ritson's Challenge. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, City Missions says it's being pushed to the limit as an end to JobKeeper payments and a lack of rental properties forces more Tasmanians onto the streets. It claims winter leaves many suffering homelessness with an agonising choice between eating or staying warm. The welfare group today launching its winter appeal.
During the COVID year, people were very generous, so we're, as that period continues, we're just hoping that people can dig deep this year.
The funding will filter into City Missions support programs. And those in need of a loan for a better heater this winter are receiving support. Aurora Energy has handed over $150,000 to the No Interest Loans network of Tasmania. The program funds half the price of energy-efficient heat pumps, as well as washing machines, fridges and freezers. The network says the fund will help Tasmanians avoid costly rent-to-buy companies.
Round 9 votes are in for the Crips TSL Player of the Year. Jack Preshaw is top of the charts for Clarence in the Roos win over Glenorchy. The Tigers' Luke Graham was the best performer in their narrow victory over Lauderdale. And the judges couldn't go past North Launceston's Alex Lee in the game against the D's. Jake Hines is still on top, 2 votes clear of North Launceston's Jay Foon. Jay Blackberry and Brad Cox-Goodger are still in the mix. The Opals have been knocked out of their Olympic 3x3 qualifying tournament. Launceston Tornado star Keely Froling was part of the squad, which went down to Spain 14-12 in the quarterfinal. An overly defensive mindset has left a bittersweet taste in Olympia's coach's mouth after the side's 1-0 win over Clarence in the Women's Statewide Cup semi-final.
Once we got the one, our mindset changed to defending, and I think we defended too deep too early. I think we still have to be brave at 1-0 to try and see if we can put the game to bed.
While Glenorchy is bracing for its Lacko Seljack Cup title defence against Devonport, the pandemic robbed the Knights of playing in the FFA Cup last year, and a big showing from both club supporters will be heading to the decider at Glenorchy.
That was probably the most disappointing thing from last year. I think with the COVID restrictions, it was stuck at 1,000, and we're pretty confident of getting double that at least, I think, in a cup final against Devonport.
The Knights play Kingborough in the NPL this week.
Good evening everyone. A cool day across the state today with Hobart and Burnie both 13 degrees, Devonport 12 and Launceston reaching 11. Friendly Beach is 15 degrees today, King Island, Smithton, St Helens and Lyowini all 14, 13 on Flinders Island and 11 in Grove. Low-level cloud can be seen lying over northern Tasmania today with some patchy high-level cloud elsewhere, otherwise clear skies across the state. Further out, low and mid-level cloud lie over most of Western Australia and are associated with a trough and low near the southern coast of WA. Patchy mid to high level cloud lies over central parts to the south of the country. Tomorrow's chart shows a slow moving high over northeastern New South Wales while a trough extends from a low over far southeastern Western Australia. Northwesterly winds tomorrow 20 to 30 knots in the south and 10 to 20 knots elsewhere. And there is a strong wind warning current for southern coastal waters from Tasman Island to Low Rocky Point. 15 and cloudy in Hobart and Adventure Bay tomorrow, 11 degrees in Tarraleah. Cloudy in the north with Launceston, Devonport and Bridport all reaching 15. Burnie and Marrawar both 15 and cloudy tomorrow, Strawn reaching a top of 14. And in the east, St Helens and Swansea, as well as Whitemark, all cloudy and 15. Looking on to Wednesday now, afternoon showers about the north, west and far south. Showers mainly about the north, west and far south on Thursday with snow to around 900 metres. And on Friday, showers mainly about the west and far south in the morning. Partly cloudy and 19 in Perth tomorrow, 20 degrees in Adelaide, Melbourne 16, 23 in Brisbane and mostly sunny and 31 in Darwin. And currently Hobart partly cloudy and 7 degrees and mostly cloudy and 7 in Launceston and Devonport, and Kim, winter is very close.
That is your news for this Monday evening. Thanks for joining us. Good night.